The last thing we did was structure, temporary structure. No?
Yeah, that's.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Structure is where I have.
I penciled
I
that
penciled
page,
in
so I couldn't make a
920 on
mistake.
between structure, temporary, and substantially completed.
Right,
Yeah.
that's where I think we
Okay,
are.
that's where we are, yeah.
Anybody got a problem with substantially completed? I'm okay with it. Allison?
Yeah, no, it hasn't ever been an issue. Where it does
I-
apply is that
I have.
projects are given a 2-year timeline and it has to be substantially completed.
Who does the appraisal?
Yeah, well,
That's the old, that, again, that,
Yeah.
unfortunately, with a lot of this stuff, it's subjective, you know, who's, so let's just say, an official says, no, that's 75%, now the poor guy who's building it's gotta go out and get an appraisal to prove him wrong. It
Yeah,
stinks,
right, that's-
but I don't recall
processes.
ever getting into that.
Plus,
no, we're pretty generous. People come in, they can ask for an extension. It's really not.
So we're good with that?
Yeah.
Substantially different use, this one could be interesting, but again, it's all opinion for the most part.
This is, yes, it's problematic in application, but I don't know that the definition is the issue.
Why do we need it? Is it?
Because change of, well, actually substantially different use, it's, I guess we don't
I mean, is it,
qualify.
to me, if it doesn't say substantially different use in the ordinance anywhere, what do you need a definition for?
Well, where it is, in not the same words as under site plan review, change of use triggers site plan review. So maybe the direction is to move into substantially different use. Well, actually, no, it's in the non-conforming section. If you can't extend or substantially change a non-conforming use without getting approval. Let me find it.
So this comes into play like when we have an old vacant building and then somebody finally wants to buy it,
No,
like the grinder place, JG Grinders is what I'm thinking of.
no, if she's talking about non-conforming, it's already being used
what
for
I-
something that's non-conforming. And then they come in and they wanna substantially change the use to something else that's non-conforming. It's already
Right.
being used.
The term
It's already being
substantially
used.
different is in Mass General Law, 40A, Section 6.
Oh, it is
which
in
applies
there?
to non-conforming, yeah.
It's just crazy, like, how do you even defend something like that or argue it? It's strictly opinion.
Well, it's, in these types of things, it goes to court and you get case law that sort of gives you some direction. Over time, enough case law accumulates that you use it to sort of inform your decision, but
I can tell you my
there's no good way
12,
to.
15 years, we've never run into it that I can think of.
No.
No.
Do you?
No,
Leave it,
just
Bill?
the JT Grinder
Yeah,
thing
you
is the
can
only
leave
thing
it.
I'm thinking about.
Substantial improvement, that's pretty cut and dry. Any reconstruction, improvement, or structure, or repair, damage structure, at a cost equal to exceeds 50% of market value of such structure before the reconstruction of the, well, that's important. So if the house is worth $100,000 before the damage, they can spend up to 50 or equals 49%. Right, I'm okay with it. Anybody else?
Okay.
Supermarket, a retail establishment primarily selling food as well as other convenience and household goods. Now, where we ran into that one was that whole Aldi Mart issue, remember?
Yeah,
Is it-
I don't love using supermarket because it implies that it has to be a massive store, whereas it can just be a grocery store.
Like a little
And-
convenience store.
And
would
they
that
are
fall under
moving
that?
more towards smaller footprint stores, I think, in some circumstances. Like the Aldi markets aren't these big, massive.
Yeah, but I mean, so, what did we ever determine that was?
Do we have a grocery store?
No.
No, so that's where I think maybe an improvement could be, would be just like a grocery market or a grocery store, or I don't know, because there is a difference between a convenience market, a
What is
grocery
the
store, and a
difference? Oh,
supermarket.
stupid.
Definition.
What is the definition of a grocery store?
Grocery means a grocery store or business.
And no shit.
All
Items
right,
of
so what's the
food sold
definition
in
of a
a,
grocer?
say that again?
What's the definition of a grocer?
What's the definition of a grocer?
Which word? G-R. Grocer means a person who sells food and small household goods.
So that.
So
is
we would, I mean,
more definition than.
we would differentiate maybe by square footage. Where it comes in also is parking, like supermarket, it's one space per 200 square feet of.
You know, hate to say it, I don't know what the number would be, but boy, that would have solved Aldi Mart if we said, large grocery store, small grocery store,
Yeah,
square footage, boom.
yeah.
Anything under this is small, anything over this is large,
Yeah.
we're done.
That would be
Well,
huge.
because we do it with the furniture stores.
Yeah,
You know,
That
we
would,
have,
that
like-
would just, that would have solved Aldi Mart, that would solve,
a lot of stuff.
yeah.
Well, we also had the guy that came in that just opened on Elm Street, where he wanted to sell meat and like prepared foods and some prepackaged foods also. But it wasn't a convenience store, but it's not a supermarket either. It's only 1,000 square foot store, even
Right.
maybe less.
Boy, I like
So
that.
what could we, where would the number be?
Grocers covers all that. It even covers a convenience store. I know we're not, it's separate, but it covers a convenience
Yeah.
store, because a convenience store sells everything a grocery store sells,
Yeah.
but less of, or.
Right.
Well, a convenience store it's pretty much all prepackaged.
Is a convenience store, like Cumberland Farms, what is that classified under?
That's a convenience.
That's a convenience?
Yeah, that's pushing it to the limit. I mean,
But
you
I'm
got
just- I'm
prepared
just
food,
asking.
you can go in there and get
Yeah.
a
Well,
restaurant food,
convenience, I
whatnot.
mean, the word convenience would indicate to me it'd be, quick in, quick out.
Right.
Different hours too, maybe.
Yeah, no, you're not pushing a grocery.
So would a
Right.
grocery, would a
Quality.
grocery store fit all of them? And then break it down by?
Say it again?
Would a grocery store, a grocery market fit all of them and then break it down by square footage?
Well, I don't know if
Could
you're,
they do
I think you're gonna get real sloppy if you try bringing convenience store into that.
Yeah, no, I think
that would
convenience
take-
should be separate
Separate.
because it is the quick nature of it. Right now, we have that it's,
that? So what makes it a convenience? store?
convenience is area of less than 5,000 square feet,
That's perfect.
offering primarily prepackaged food products, not exclusively, but primarily.
Yeah. So then we need to do the
So
other
what
one
would-
as square footage.
Huh?
So over
We need to do
5,000
the other
would
one
be
as
the-
square footage.
Well, I'm
too.
just saying then if that's how you're defining a convenience store is by square footage, then why not
Yeah.
put all three of them together? Convenience
Well,
store
no,
is
'cause
under.
it's like the nature of it. Like, the nature of a convenience store is different than
But
a
look what they're doing, I
market.
mean, you go in, there's convenience stores.
They
you-
got produce in there.
Yeah, you go in a
and-
Yeah.
convenience store,
Well,
you
then
get
that's kind of-
salami sliced.
outside of the realm of a convenience store.
Well,
I
that's,
would say.
they're pushing it. So why would we need to keep convenience stores separate? If we're gonna let Cumberland Farms roast hot dogs and sell pizza,
It's not, convenience store is actually more burdensome of a designation than grocery because the parking requirements are more intense
For a
It's-
grocery store.
for a convenience store.
convenience.
Because you're getting
More
more
retail.
people
More
per
people
square
coming in.
foot than a supermarket.
seriously?
I would, yeah, I mean, think of Cumberland Farms as a good
Well,
example.
that's a,
Yeah.
I mean, they're very busy and people are in and out. Like, it's a fast turnover and you need the
Need good
parking
flow.
spaces and you need good flow. So it is different. Even a CVS is, I mean, that's a convenience store and that's different than, I would say, Stop and Shop.
it's just that, the big problem is everybody's diversifying so much.
Yeah.
Seriously, I mean, you go into a grocery store, you can buy wiper blades for your car. You can go into Home Depot and get cleaning goods for your house and
Yeah.
oil for your car. I mean,
Everybody's piggying
I'm gonna
up
start
on.
selling
Look at
salami
the
at my
alcohol.
shop.
I mean, look at all the stores that are trying to sell alcohol now.
Yeah, it does seem to be
All right, so
growing.
the question is, do we want to leave convenience stores separate from grocery? Allison is a yes.
Yeah.
I think you need that.
You think what?
I think you need that.
Okay, that's two. I don't care
I
either
don't
way.
care, me.
I think, I'd say leave it, as long as that convenience stores, the parking is more restrictive, it would make more sense than
Okay,
to
that's
kinda
3
keep
to
it
2,
tighter.
so we're leaving them separate. Now,
Okay, supermarket
the
or
supermarket,
grocery market.
grocery store, who has a problem, and I guess you'd have to come up with square footage somehow, just having large grocery store, small grocery store, and then,
Yeah,
because Aldi Mart doesn't sell generators and, right, they're more of food.
it's,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, that was a
Exclusively food, I don't know for sure.
issue when
Yeah.
it was all over parking, but it could be very simple. It's a grocery store and it's under X amount of square feet.
Yeah, and then you have Costco that sells everything.
Well, that's a
Which is the
warehouse, which is a joke
Right.
too, but it's a damn grocery store. You know what I mean? It's,
Yeah.
more people go to Costco than Stop and Shop, for God's sake.
I would have to
So-
say, yeah.
So are we okay with getting rid of supermarket and making it putting in grocery store, large grocery store, small? Have Allison come up with some square footage for next meeting and then we'll tag the square footage to that?
Sure.
I think so.
Everybody good?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
And then when we get to parking, we'll have to consider if we
Right,
want
grocery store.
there to be a difference.
Large, small. Tavern, pub, or cocktail lounge, an establishment serving alcoholic beverages in which the principal business is the sale of such beverages at retail for consumption on the premises.
Would that include a bar?
That is a bar,
I know,
right?
yeah.
Collins Tavern, Crest. You know, it's funny though, during the day, I think they're more food.
Food,
How do you do that? Something like the Crest? What, if they come in, I don't know, if the Crest comes in and they wanna do their parking lot, what do you classify them as? A tavern, a pub, or a restaurant that sells alcohol?
Well, their license might specify a certain percentage of food sales, and we might look at that. I don't know. We haven't really encountered it.
Okay,
where-
so we don't have a problem with it.
like the tap room or whatever they call it on Riverdale. It went from Piccadilly Pub to the or
Yeah.
Backyard Grill to the tap room. Beer is their big thing, but it wasn't a change of use when it went from Backyard Grill to the tap
No,
room
'cause it's a restaurant.
it's still a restaurant.
So are you okay with that? And we haven't had issues in the past? Everybody good?
Yep.
Yeah, the only issue has been the brewery thing, which we're working on. We already came up with a definition for that.
Why, do we have a brewery coming?
Well, we have people that might want to, and you can't produce the alcohol on site and consume it on site in most places at this point. But we're working on fixing that.
Okay, so that's good the way it is. You'll be bringing something back to somebody when you come up with a brewery.
We already did the brewery definition. We already agreed on one. The group did.
Oh, we did.
Holy cow.
Nobody remembers.
That must have been early. It's
Yeah,
a
that was like 19.
Yeah, I know, that was at least a year ago.
It was the bees, so it was a while
Yeah,
ago.
that was a real.
So we have something, yeah, and it'll basically just get added to the use table and.
where is it?
Man, I think I'm gonna have to go with Allison's cracking up, because none of us remember brewery. I don't even see a note in here.
No, I know, that's
I
weird.
remember talking about it.
Not with us.
Bridget probably remembers it.
Oh, yeah, sure, pick on someone who's not here.
Yeah, I don't have anything.
It was the Beverly definition, I know that.
I honestly don't, which I wouldn't put much into that, but I don't remember that at all.
I don't have any, yeah, nothing.
Let me go back to my notes.
So we're all losing it, maybe we're all sleeping that day.
No,
I don't
no,
know.
let's just say she's
Brewery,
losing
add
it.
to
The four of us are
definitions.
okay.
Tweak Beverly, Mass. Yeah, we did. Because I was already talking with the mayor about it. So,
Can we get the definition sent to us again?
yeah,
Okay,
it's in the notes online. I can send it to you guys.
okay.
We must have all been at the brewery when she talked about it. All right.
Field
What-
trip.
what- Wireless communications tier, the arrangement of preferred mounting applications for wireless communication facilities. A tier 1 mount is most preferred. A tier 4 is least preferred.
Oh.
Tier 1 is defined as a side mount. Tier 2 is defined as a roof mount. Tier 3 is defined as a structure mount, and Tier 4 is defined as a ground mount. I can tell you, I don't recall ever. That's not a cell tower.
Yeah.
Well, why is it, didn't we do cell towers already? Or was that camouflage?
Well, this definition came out of the wireless communications section in the current ordinance. So it's the existing definition.
Oh, we didn't do
How
cell
come
tower.
wireless is, how come it's even there? Because it's in the T's and it's a W.
Tier?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. That's pretty observant of you.
Yeah, I didn't
That's
catch that.
wrong.
I-
I'm like,
I
how
did
did we
not
only
catch
have
that.
one T?
So move to, first of all, is everybody okay with that? I mean, I guess who determines tier 1? Is that somewhere, something? Like, is that in a code somewhere?
It's in the wireless telecommunications section.
No, let me rephrase that. Is that a West Springfield thing, tier 1, tier 2, or is that like a state thing? Is that like an electrician thing? Is that?
I think it was the ordinance that you guys adopted was the model bylaw. So it's probably not unique to West Springfield, but I don't think it's defined in like a state law or anything.
I mean, I
So
don't-
tier 1 is a side mount, tier 2 roof mount, tier 3 structure mount, tier 4 ground mount.
I mean, I don't have,
I
there's,
think
to
it's
me, there's
silly.
nothing to do with that. I mean, it's just cut and dry.
Yeah. it's-
Wireless communication tier, and there's 1, 2, 3, 1, whatever we just said, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and this is what they mean.
So my only thing is move it to W.
Yep. Anybody else? Bill, come on, you gotta have something on wireless cell tower, right?
I hate them.
I know, that's why I'm giving you a shot to,
Well,
Well,
the-
this must be part of an overall regulation.
that's what I
It
think,
is.
tier.
Yeah.
just
Tier
descriptive.
4,
Yeah.
Right.
Tier
that's what I'm
4
saying, is that might be-
requires a special permit, which is why it's saying it's the least
Whoa,
desirable.
say that again?
Tier 4 right now requires, it's a ground mount, so
Yeah.
it's like the flagpole
Yeah,
type thing. It requires a special permit.
and the other ones don't?
No.
So I could put a tier something on my roof?
Yeah, but you need to go through site plan review. It has to be camouflaged. It has, it has to meet all the requirements. It's, the FCC doesn't really let you restrict very much.
Bastards.
Move to
I have nothing on that one, so I don't know. We leaving
I
it?
think it's okay.
Okay, move it to W. Therapeutic massage service establishment, administering by any method of pressure on or friction against, or by stroking, heating, rubbing, tapping, pounding. This is pretty descriptive,
It
holy
is.
crap. Tapping, pounding, vibrating, or stimulating of external parts of the human body with the hands or with the aid of any mechanical or electrical apparatus or appliances. With or without such supplementary aids, such as rubbing alcohol, liniment, antiseptics, oils, powder, creams, lotions, ointment, or other such similar preparations commonly used in the practice of massage under such circumstances that it is reasonably expected that a person to whom the service is provided or some third person on his or her behalf will pay money or give any other consideration or any gratuity therefore, excepting those practitioners duly licensed, but holy cow,
I know, that's a ton.
wow.
Why is it so descriptive like that?
because it captures everything, because a reflexologist isn't the same as a massage therapist. Massage therapists are licensed by the state, reflexologists aren't.
Yeah, what-
Acupuncture.
Is that in there? Or is that different?
It would be included, yeah.
So,
Doesn't say poking.
so then this really isn't just therapeutic massage, right? It encompasses a lot of other stuff in there.
Yeah, stimulating external parts of the human body with the hands or with the aid of any mechanical or electrical apparatus or appliances.
I know you guys hate when I get technical, but it's external. Once you put that pin in there, it's not external
It's
anymore.
still, it's superficial, it's not like,
Yeah, I don't care.
I mean, it is what it is, I guess.
Can we just
you know.
add that
I
in
mean,
there?
if somebody wanted to open up an acupuncture practice, I would be inclined to classify that as medical, not.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is it not part of this, or is it part of this?
It hasn't come up. It hasn't come up.
Is it in here
Well, do
somewhere
we
else?
want it part of that? Do we want to just stick acupuncture in there? No?
I don't know that we need to.
Okay.
It's,
Everybody's good with that?
the reason, this is what we capture with the adult use.
There's
To
a
a
lot
certain
more to
extent.
this that
Yeah.
you know, I mean, there was things going on that were less than ethical, and I think that's where a lot of this came from.
Right, that's
Right.
why, that's, yeah.
So we'll
And
leave
it's
it.
not that we restrict it, it's just we
Wanna
scrutinize
spell it
it a
out.
little bit more.
Right.
All right, so we're leaving it?
You're,
I know, I whispered it. Oh.
yeah, it's fine.
Good. Okay, theater, a building or part of a building for dramatic, musical, or live performances, or for the screening of movies.
Pretty simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Allison, good? Tradesman, builder, carpenter, electrician, painter, plumber, tree surgeon, or similar building trade occupation. I don't know if I'm all right with that.
How would you change it?
I don't know, that's
Oh,
my
yeah.
problem. I mean, there's more trades than that.
Or similar
You know, and I'll just go on my,
building trade.
you know, we're having these automotive tradesmen popping up trying to do things mobily. Vans going to your place of work and doing, you know, which is
Like the
really can't
windshields.
do because you can't be changing oil in a parking lot. You shouldn't be. But I mean, that is also a tradesman. Oh, God, yeah.
Is there an ordinance for that?
I think it's more of an EPA thing.
I got a guy on Piper Road at the church that pops in there and does all kinds of work. And then the priest or whatever he is, he's like, oh, I don't know, he's an all right guy. I'm like, he's got crap all over your parking lot.
Oh,
But he picks it up in a day and he's gone.
I have a guy that does it right on our corner. He's got cars coming in on carriers, dropping them off and fixing them, and
wonder why we're slow.
he's buying, what is
Oh.
it? It's the cars with the weird titles.
They're
Salvage
reconstructed.
Yeah.
But the problem, a lot of it becomes, it's not just a noise and a mess, but it becomes an environmental thing. You know, they're draining oil, like at our place, we have an oil separator, you know, you gotta have all these precautions, but yet you got a trades guy setting up a van and going to somebody's, you know, hey, yeah, I'll change your oil at your work, you know, you don't even have to bring your car.
Or similar building trade occupation. Is there already automotive?
What do you call, unless you change it to building tradesman, I don't know, I'm just saying
Says
that.
that. Similar building trade occupation.
Is there anything besides auto that's a trade that's not in here? 'Cause then we can
Welding.
just forget it.
Well, like,
Welder.
That's what I'm saying,
But
what's
that's
the
related.
purpose of this?
it doesn't have to be related to buildings, I guess.
There's more trades than are,
Well, I think because it would be very difficult to list all of them.
Yeah.
so what's the purpose of this?
It's one of the uses in the use table, tradesman.
So if you had a welder come in, where would they
Okay.
go? What would they go under? A welder, would they go under that?
I would say yes, but I mean, it would defer to Pat.
Well, it'd be you know, like a machine shop
Yeah.
should be the same as a welding shop.
Well, I think it kind of depends on
Depends
whether
on
or
if you're
not.
building rails or if you're building structural
Well, are
steel.
you
Here's
are
the-
you
sorry.
manufacturing on the premises, or are you going somewhere? and doing
Here's
these
the
things?
problem with that, again, it becomes subjective, so the guy's
Right.
building wrought iron railings, is that a
Yeah.
manufacturing place? He's manufacturing railings, or is he just a welder? You know,
Yeah.
how do you,
define.
That's where it becomes very subjective.
Well, I don't know, a welder, if he's exclusively constructing railings, it's kind of more along the manufacturing lines, wouldn't
But
it?
that's
But they
considered a
don't, they
trade.
do everything.
I mean, that's a trade.
It's hard. Again, we're not gonna cover every situation that comes up. As soon as I hit tradesmen, it brings way more than here, especially what I'm getting, I'm getting involved in that with the schools now and.
Me too.
Yeah,
Yeah, my son's gonna be a lineman, so we're finding out all kinds
But
of
he's a
stuff about
trades-
that.
but he's a
But that's a
tradesman.
tradesman, yeah.
So I just don't know what,
So if somebody wanted to, like, yeah, how would that
but what
work?
she's saying it's used for, it's in the use table. So in what my thought of an auto guy, and it's different. It's an auto shop, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be an issue here. I'm just,
Right,
You know-
it's already further defined.
But now
elsewhere.
that you brought that up, like now there's vet techs too that come right to your house in a whole van and they wash your dog and they do everything like that. Where would they go? Like, how do we regulate that?
Well, they have
That's like
to
a
have,
traveling medical, right?
they have to have a principal place of business, and that's where it would get regulated.
So they're okay to operate
well, it's
in
not
your
even vets,
town.
it's those, like we have a groomer that comes to our house and grooms our
Yeah.
dog in our house.
We have
so
a
you
vet
can't
that comes
regulate
to
that.
our house.
So if they came to the town clerk to get a DBA certificate to operate out of their house, they would get told, no, you can't do that. But if they have like a legitimate groomer business and they operate out of that, like they park the van there and they keep their supplies
What if they
there
don't?
and
What
then
if
go,
they
then
just
it's
have,
fine.
well, they can't leave their van at home.
Right. So that's the thing. It can't be a home occupation, but if it's like a
It's
grooming
like a
business that
traveling-
has like a leg that includes going to people's houses. it's
So if I
fine.
come to you and then, and I say, I got a van set up, I'm doing pet grooming, your question's gonna be, well, where are you based out of? I'm based out of the van. Well, where do you park the van? I park it at the storage center, U-Haul storage center. I have a place
Yeah,
there.
we had someone I think that wanted to do that, and that's not a legitimate.
How do you?
You can't run a business out of a storage unit.
They're
Sure
not.
you
They're
can.
running it out of the
Well,
van.
they do. I know.
Like,
but-
okay, like the tool guys that come to all the shops.
Snap-on.
The Snap-on.
Yeah.
The yellow one
They don't
there.
have a place of business. That's their business. There's a computer in a
So
truck.
where are they licensed? What address do they use for their business license?
Probably a post office box.
I mean, I can't answer that, but I mean, could do anything. I mean, these guys don't have a building. Their truck is their building.
Believe me, I know that it happens in practice. My father's a contractor. He has a trailer that doesn't have any decals or anything on it. He parks it in the garage of his house, and who knows that he's in
Right.
contract? No,
But how
nobody.
do we let people do that? Because that's not necessarily bad. How do you let people do that? Like Snap-on. I mean,
Because
they're
it
not gonna, they've been around
becomes
forever.
such a slippery slope with the parking at the house or
I got nothing to say. Maybe I have a van at home. I'm fucking.
so. And that's
Yeah,
the thing.
I'd rather
it's-
just not. Let's move on. No, I'm just saying.
Don't
I mean,
ask
to me,
us
those are
out.
legit.
There's no decals. It's there's nothing on it. Just a van.
I mean, I can see like the Snap-on guy. You can't park his truck in his driveway. It's a commercial vehicle.
And it's huge.
Right.
Well, what if he wanted to leave it at V&F Auto? And I said it was okay.
He would have to get approval from the Agawam planning board, probably. I don't know how
To
Agawam
park
does
his
it,
vehicle
but
there? No.
Park his vehicle and
Absolutely
his
not. As
lot.
long as it's registered, he can park it in my spot.
what it comes down to is where the business is
Based.
out of,
Yeah.
licensed out of. And
So again, not
If you-
to beat a dead horse, but if the guy's a mobile, he's got a mobile truck and he's got a post office box. It's based out of his truck. His post office.
he just has to get licensed through the state, not through the town. Has to get his business license instead of a DBA.
I'm like,
It is
next.
crazy, but there's not like a good resolution to it.
Huh?
I said it is crazy, but there's not a good resolution.
Like
You need to have an address to get a DBA.
we have that issue in Springfield all the time. People will complain and say, like, this guy has a commercial vehicle and he parks in his driveway, and the guy's a plumber. And the neighbors are like, I'm sick of looking at this truck. You know, on the books, he's not supposed to have it there.
Well, same
And-
thing here.
Right, and he's gotta find somewhere to put it, and it really comes down to a case-by-case basis, where
And
it's
that's
like-
exactly what we're doing here
Right.
with,
Yeah.
with that.
It's like, where do you want this guy to go? You know, like,
Yeah.
he's the guy's a plumber. He's not doing anything at home. He just brings the truck home and goes.
Right.
Same thing with like these people that work at Comcast and everything else.
My
People-
truck.
Right.
That's my,
Yeah.
that's my own, I've been driving that truck for 14 years. That's my personal vehicle, but it's
But your
commercial.
business is based at Agawam.
I have to keep my truck in my garage. Technically, it shouldn't even be in there. You know.
But so it sort of gets out of the realm of zoning in that regard, because to get a DBA, you have to have an address, you can't have a PO box, so he would have to, the Snap-on guy would have to use his home address, unless he used some other business address, but then it's a question of, do you have two businesses operating out of this one building? Well, no,
Holy
he's not
cow.
operating.
Can't wait to see the Snap-on guy next week. I want to ask him how he does it. All right, so what do you want to do with tradesman? Leave it? Like I said, that's how we
I
got
think
there.
I'm okay
Huh?
with it. I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
I'm
leave
okay. We
it.
never run into it, leave it.
Trailer.
Trailer, any vehicle or object on wheels and having no motive power of its own, but which is drawn by, used, or capable of being used in combination with a motor vehicle.
Most trailers have to have registration anyways, don't
They
they?
do.
Everything does. I mean,
Mhm.
if you're going on road with it,
Mhm.
like a wood chipper, the guys that,
Mhm.
is that a trailer? What is that?
Even our
It's a
boat,
trailer.
even our boat trailer has to have a registration.
Right, but I mean, like a wood
the
chipper,
boat.
it's got its own motor and everything, but it doesn't move it, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's gotta be towed somewhere.
If it's got wheels, it's considered a trailer.
It's a trailer.
Yeah.
State wants their piece, yep.
Okay. Everybody good with trailer?
Yeah.
Yep.
Tree belt, any portion of a street right-of-way located between the paved portion of the street and the outside edge of the right-of-way containing a sidewalk, if any, and commonly planted with trees, shrubs, grass, or other vegetation. Everybody good?
Yep.
Wait, did that change in our new ordinance?
I don't think the definition changed.
No?
I should have brought it with
I
me.
don't
and
remember
thought about it.
trees.
I always get.
I
and
had it
wanna-
next door.
I just get
Yeah, if you wanna
confused
grab
with
it, maybe
the
we'll look
property
at it.
line versus the.
Everybody does.
I
Edge
get
of
so-
pavement
No.
versus the property line.
Right,
That's.
and
that's just-
theoretically it
yeah.
moves, if the town wants to come in and put sidewalks and widen the street, your property line now moves up.
No.
Property line never changes.
Well, it can, but you have to, the town would have to do a taking to,
Yeah,
Okay,
right.
so, alright.
I didn't
let's
bring
not-
my key for the office and
oh,
that's
so
why.
it's not in there?
Yeah, no.
let's
That
not
might have
drag it out.
changed.
Tree belt, everybody good?
Yep.
Jill?
Yeah.
Toxic material, Frank. Any substance or mixture of physical, chemical, or infectious characteristics posing a significant actual or potential hazard to water supplies or other hazards to human health, if such substance or mixture were discharged to the land or water of the town of West Springfield. Toxic or hazardous materials include, without limitation, synthetic, organic chemicals, petroleum products, heavy metals, radioactive or infectious waste, acids, alkalines, and all substances defined as toxic or hazardous under Massachusetts. That's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah.
I don't think we can change that. Everybody good? Allison?
Let me just say something here.
What? Go ahead.
This without limitation, we were just discussing something up above that. We probably could have used that without limitation.
What, tradesman?
Is that what it was? No.
No.
What was it?
Therapeutic massage, we're talking about acupuncture? Is that what it was?
Maybe we could have used it there, yeah.
The only big ones we've discussed so far is the grocery store, which I don't
Right,
think that was
right,
there. Therapeutic massage, tradesman,
Must have
everything
been.
else
Well,
we
maybe it
flew
was
through.
tradesman. You know, when you describe something that's typical, if you put that without limitation, it gives you a
Without
little wiggle room.
limitation
Right.
to builder, carpenter.
Yeah.
Anybody got a problem with that?
No.
What do you think, Allison?
It also opens it up.
Yeah, it makes it a little more, I don't know.
So if someone comes in and they do pottery, they could call themselves a tradesman.
Well, it's not the people doing pottery that we would be worried about. It's
No,
like,
but
I'm a
without,
junk, like a junkyard, but I don't know. I weld scrap pieces of metal from all these junk cars that I have. I'm a tradesman.
Well, something to
Leave
think
it.
about. We don't, yeah,
Yeah.
we don't have to do it, but,
alright, so we're good with toxic material?
yeah.
Townhouse, a dwelling containing 3 or more dwelling units, each sharing 1 or more party walls with another dwelling unit, and each having at least 1 floor at ground level with direct access to yards or open space on 2 or more sides. Dwelling units within townhouses may be owned individually or rented.
I don't know why we need this definition.
Say
Actually.
that again?
I'm not sure why this definition is necessary. I don't know.
That doesn't even make.
I don't think we refer to townhouse anywhere.
I've never had it come up.
Townhouse typically in the industry is an up and down
Right,
dwelling.
but we don't
That's not
You
what
don't-
it
Where-
says.
regulate
would that
or
be
You don't
like
we don't
regulate.
require
States?
that or prohibit it.
Remove it?
Take it out.
Yeah.
Okay, take it out. Man, we are cranking. Trucking terminal. An area and building where cargo is stored and where trucks load and unload cargo on a regular basis. Businesses which service or repair commercial trucks, which may or may not be owned by the business, are also considered truck terminals. Really? Businesses which service or repair commercial trucks, which may or may not be owned by the business, are also considered truck terminals.
So does that mean that one
Boy, I
down
don't
here
know.
on Park Street is a truck terminal?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I think
crazy,
that's
that doesn't make
grandfathered,
sense.
though.
But is that what that would be classified as under this?
It sounds like it, yeah.
Yeah, that don't make sense.
No, that's weird. A trucking terminal to me would be like that new Pride station that they put in with a specific, like in Springfield, where they have the scales to get
No,
weighed.
that's not a truck terminal, that's a gas station.
Trucking terminal is just unloading and.
Truck
Like
terminal,
CSX then?
no, that's the train, the truck terminal is AC Moore,
AC,
Um,
okay.
there's another one down there. Sheridan,
Yeah.
those are truck terminals. The Pride station, they don't unload or load
No.
trucks there, they just drive in, get gas, you can pull in on the scale. and-
Sleep, truck stop, would that be a truck stop? Do we have
Truck
those?
stop, yeah, maybe, okay.
The
But a
the
truck
trucking
terminal-
terminal, I'm fine with, other than you're
Shouldn't be
taking
service
a
and
repair
repair.
garage for trucks and saying it's a truck terminal, I mean, that makes
Yeah,
no sense
that's
to me.
weird.
Well, it requires the same type of structure and layout,
No.
like you need to be able to maneuver large trucks in and out, and I don't know,
I don't know about the repair either.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
that
think that's
doesn't make
good.
sense. I mean, if you wanna
What if you
add,
change trucking
a truck
repair, so-
repair, you know,
yeah.
like auto repair and truck repair is two different things, I'll give you that, but
Right, but are we gonna, like, would we allow one but not the other?
No, we would allow them both, wouldn't we?
I don't know.
Why?
you're
why
not gonna
would we
allow a
not?
truck terminal on the corner of Park Street and, whatever that is.
Van Dean, but no, but you would allow them somewhere.
Right, so, but you're allowing a guy to repair trucks there.
Well, he's
if
grandfather
that's-
clause,
yeah,
then you
that's-
can't.
That
Well,
wouldn't
that's a
normally
dealer.
be allowed there.
The old international dealer.
Yeah.
So he can't, if he was gone there, he couldn't go back there. No,
I
think
don't know
he
if the
can.
business A zone starts there. I think it might.
But I don't see that being a terminal.
No, that's what I'm saying, that's
Yeah.
just, but that's, by this definition,
It's a terminal.
they repair those trucks.
But do you really think that's a good place for that?
It doesn't.
The repair facility? Well, no,
Yeah.
because it,
It's grandfathered, right?
I don't know. I don't want to say for sure because I don't know. I don't know exactly where the business A zone starts. I think it
I mean,
starts.
but
so
you're
maybe maybe when this was done, this was their way to separate that from a regular automotive repair facility.
I would guess.
Then to me,
We need to have
maybe it should say
separated.
truck terminal / repair facility. Then you could leave it. If you change,
Yeah, no, that wouldn't be. that one on the corner wouldn't be allowed there. It's grandfathered.
right? Oh, I'm saying here, if you wanna leave the wording the same, you almost have to put truck terminal / repair facility.
Yeah.
So I guess your question is, would we allow a tractor trailer, truck repair facility somewhere we wouldn't allow? In other words, if we're gonna restrict them equally, then just add repair facility to the name and leave the wording the same. If we're
Right,
gonna
if you
allow,
want them in the same areas.
right, if you're gonna allow a terminal somewhere, but you wouldn't allow the repair or
Right.
vice versa, then we have to separate it.
So where is a trucking terminal allowed right now? Where can they go?
Industrial, right?
Business B and industrial.
But yet you can't put a repair facility in industrial? You can't put an automotive repair facility in industrial, so why can you fix trucks in industrial?
Hang on. I
We
gotta
have
start
the-
drinking a full cup before I come to these meetings.
We're
Expecting
sorry,
me to be on
Allison.
A game so early in the morning. No, a repair garage is allowed in the industrial zone.
Terminal, just because they got a loading
that's
dock.
in-
A repair garage is allowed in the industrial zone.
A repair
Automotive?
automotive?
Yeah. Special permit, but it's allowed.
God, I hate that camera. So what happened to,
It's
what
my
was,
brewery definition, by the way, if you want to look at it.
what was that about?
I don't know where this is.
It's on Bliss.
Or Hog Wild? Or Hog, whatever that motorcycle, that, it's the golf place now? Right across the street. What's that, is that industrial?
That is, there was used car sales.
No. That was a truck repair facility, well, no, that was a truck repair facility that wanted to do auto repair, and they told me couldn't. It turned into a big ordeal.
I don't know. I wasn't that, I don't, how long ago was it this?
Oh, not long. Within the last 2 years.
I remember that too.
Remember that?
Oh, I'm thinking of the wrong place.
Yeah.
I was thinking of across the street. I have
That's
no
on
idea
Bliss
what
Street,
happened
isn't
with
it?
that.
Is it Bliss?
Yeah.
Bliss Street? Yeah.
I don't know what that's zoned. I don't know what that's zoned. I was thinking of the wrong property. I think it's industrial, but I
That's
don't
indu-
know. I don't know.
But I think that's what the problem was. They said, oh, you can repair trucks there, but you couldn't repair cars. It made no sense. The whole thing, well,
Has this, I mean, this might have changed. Repair garage might not have always been allowed in industrial. I don't know.
Maybe
this was
maybe
before
that's
me, I think, because I don't
maybe that's what
recall
we
it.
did. They changed it to allow it in industrial, so that solved that
Because
problem.
I mean,
don't
it
know.
seems weird not to allow it in the industrial zone.
All right, so back to
How are we? gonna
trucking
fix-
terminal. So the question is, are we gonna allow truck repair and truck terminals in all the same places?
Well, I have one question before we talk about that. If this guy down here who owns this trucking fixing place on Van
Yeah.
Denen Park, if he wants to retire and sell his business, can that continue as a trucking place? So he's okay
As long
with
as
that?
it doesn't shut for X amount of time.
For 2 years,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, as long as,
Okay.
well, and as long as somebody doesn't buy it and put it into a conforming use, which they wouldn't likely, given the,
As long as what?
so you can't take a non-conforming property, bring it into conformance, and then go back.
Can't go back.
Oh, right,
Okay,
right.
yeah. So they couldn't demolish it, put a store there, then come back to the trucking?
Right.
Yeah,
Right, once it's
okay.
gone, well, that would be that time frame, right? If he, because they'd shut down the non-conforming, it would be conforming for X amount of time, so what's the time
Well,
frame?
No, it'd have to be like actively used as a conforming use, and then there's no time frame after that. It's,
Wow.
you're done. If you put in, I don't know, whatever would be allowed there, a medical office, if they converted that to a medical office, for example, and the medical office was a conforming use, it could never go back. There is no time frame.
So
There
if
is no
he-
special permit, it's just, it's done.
So if that owner, whatever, got sick and had to close it for 6 months,
It'd be fine.
is there a time frame that it can not be operated?
2 years.
2 years, okay.
2 years.
That's what I was-
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it can actually be even longer than that. You can reestablish the non-conforming use after 5 years. or within 5 years.
As long as it's not
Right.
used.
Like the Dunkin' Donuts on Park Street.
Or Cumberland Farms when it changed to golf, right? There was a thing there
Yeah, I
too.
don't know. That one I think was continuous, but the Dunkin' Donuts was vacant for a really long time, but it's a non-conforming use. It was vacant for more than 2 years, but they, through a special permit process, were able to reestablish the non-conforming use. You can do it by right within 24 months. You need a special permit.
Okay, so are we gonna
After
add
that.
commercial trucking / commercial?
Well, we didn't answer the question. The question is, are we gonna allow truck repair and truck terminals in all the same locations?
Only in the same
Yeah.
location.
Only in the same
I
location.
say yes, why wouldn't you? If you have all them trucks, you need a place to fix them. What are you gonna do,
Right,
ship
but do
them
you
all out?
want
No,
to
but would
be
you
more
allow a
permissive?
terminal somewhere that you wouldn't allow them to repair? I don't think so.
No, they'd all be in the same place, in the same,
I think the better
zone.
question is there somewhere that you would want to be able to repair them that you wouldn't necessarily want a trucking terminal?
Right.
That's the better way to look at it.
Like you go to Springfield, there's a big truck repair facility, but it's not a terminal. I mean,
there's
all they do is
LMB
fix it.
Freightliner, they're a huge repair and they sell them too.
But-
I mean, all their facilities are pretty decent.
Is that also a location where you think a terminal would be okay?
Theirs is on Route 20 in Westfield.
Yeah, I think either one.
I sort of think they go together
uh,
in terms of
Yeah.
like where
I
you
just
would want
don't-
them, where they make sense.
I'm just trying to compare it to automobiles, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, but you
but there is
can't-
no such
there's
thing as an
no-
automobile terminal, so
Right,
you can't.
and the size of them is
I'm thinking about the
just-
trailers, but there's
yeah.
also these box trucks, these 24-foot box trucks, which are gonna take up massive amounts of room,
Yeah.
but I'm repairing it. So here I am repairing all these giant box trucks, which are gonna take up a lot of room.
Yeah,
So that's what makes me think the repair facility wouldn't be necessarily in it. The repair
truck.
facility would be more okay than a terminal, cause obviously the terminal, you're thinking bigger, you know, the cargo and stuff, but
Well,
They
the
could
repair
use that to their
facility
advantage.
works on the trailers too. Those all
Right.
have brakes and air and,
right,
So-
I'm working on the truck trailer.
right.
so can we go back to CSX? What are they classified as?
Railroad.
would see it-
Anything they want.
Yeah, they're a railroad.
They're a railroad,
So,
they do what
so
they want.
none of their stuff, none of this stuff, unloading cargo or anything applies to the trucks coming in to get
First of all,
unloaded?
we don't have pretty much no regulation. They're federal, they do whatever they want. You know, once they're classified as a railroad,
It's all
So they
federal.
don't fall under any of our regulations?
I don't
It's all
believe so,
federal?
but Allison, is that true?
kinda like a church.
No, I think
Railroads.
if they wanted to like build a new truck terminal, they would have to get approval.
Yeah, see, I think they would too.
They can, yeah, I can't answer that, but I know federally, they can take property, it's crazy.
They may ask for permission, but they're gonna do whatever they want.
Yeah,
Right.
so this wouldn't really apply to them.
Oh, so I mean, it does. Railroad yard, shops and sheds, site plan review.
Yeah, so it isn't.
Well, we did that one, that might be off of,
I wasn't here for that, but I think
Day
I-
Street?
no. Is that Union? Yeah, Union, the guy where he repairs the train cars,
Yeah,
remember
that's-
by,
yeah. It's, down by where the condos are, right?
no, where Bob's Volkswagen in the back there?
Okay,
Right behind there's a building sideways, remember we had the
Yeah.
telephone pole that we had to go around and all that?
Yeah.
And they repaired railroad cars in there. Alright, so they came to us.
Right, but they're not owned by the railroad.
Right. Well, plus it was coming off of
I do know where that is.
Union
Yeah.
and they were going through another park lot, and it was a shared drive, it was a whole. So back to truck terminal, should we add truck terminal / truck repair facility or repair facility? Truck repair facility.
I think, yeah.
I
I think we have
that's
to.
also, yeah. I feel bad for it, you know, obviously it's gonna be a pain in the neck for somebody, but there's just not enough real estate around to have giant trucks all over the place.
Yeah, and I mean, it's
Truck
already
repair
that they're restricted to the same areas, so.
Facility. Trucking terminal / truck repair facility. Now, not to, but I will. What if, well, like these guys that repair the big tractors, you know, like bucket loaders and what is that? Like there's one in Holyoke.
What's a truck defined as? Is that what we're saying?
Well, I mean, no, a tractor.
Commercial truck, if I had to repair your truck, isn't that a truck out there? Is that a 1 ton?
Yeah,
Is that a truck?
yeah, I would have pickup truck's a truck too, right?
Is that registered
what
commercially?
tonnage? Yeah,
Would it be
what
a commercial
tonnage?
vehicle?
Yeah.
So
Semantics, we could go for weeks on this stuff.
No, but, yeah,
what's the one that's up on Interstate Drive?
that's a lawnmower, that's not a,
They don't do repair and stuff there.
Not on
Just
vehicles,
not
I
on
don't think.
registered vehicles. I'm saying like in Holyoke on Main Street, there's it's M&B now, but they got the big Kubota
Like
tractors
Caterpillar
and
stuff.
excavators and, not the huge ones,
That's
but.
equipment though, more than it is
So
a vehicle.
that would,
So how, if someone comes in, they wanna do equipment repair, do we classify it as a truck repair, an automotive repair, or do we need to
I
have
would say
another?
it's a general industrial use. I
Those
mean,
vehicles they're not registered. One of those, bucket loaders and stuff aren't registered. I'm sure some of them are. I mean, I know they take some of them on the road.
But I'm just saying, I mean, that would be way more, to me, would be you'd wanna restrict that way more than
Well,
a car repair place.
general
Those things,
industrial
diesel, noise,
use it's only
banging.
allowed in industrial.
Well,
and-
I don't think we're gonna run into that, so, like you said, semantics, someone comes in and wants to open up a John Deere dealer.
It's gonna be a battle.
Everything's. All right, so trucking terminal / truck repair facility, boom, good?
Yeah.
Good. Two-family dwelling, a detached building containing 2 dwelling units.
we've got,
Yeah,
we already did all the
Multifamily.
dwelling units.
so we're crossing that off, right?
Yeah,
Unlawful structure, any structure which was constructed under a lawfully issued building permit, but which does not comply with said building permit, and is in violation of a provision of the zoning ordinance, which was in effect at the time of the construction, and the structure has been in existence for at least 10 years, during which no enforcement action has been initiated by the building department. What the hell is that?
Why
it's
are,
it's Mass General Law.
Huh?
Mass General Law, there's certain protections for non-conforming structures, even if they're unlawful. So there's legal non-conforming and then there's unlawful non-conforming. Unlawful, it was established in conflict with the zoning ordinance. Lawfully non-conforming or legally non-conforming, it was established before the zoning ordinance and is grandfathered. This is not grandfathered.
so why did this get put in here? Cause it's not in our old one.
Because there was no enforcement action for 10 years, is that?
It's changed, yeah, the Mass General Law, section pertaining to this was recently updated. But it's because it's useful to define the difference between legally non-conforming and an unlawful structure.
So does that mean if it's been there for 10 years, you now have the power to make them take it down, or it stays?
No, so I would have to look back at the statute to make sure that the numbers are right, but 10 years, within 10 years, somebody can complain about it and they can be compelled to take it down. After 10 years, it becomes the same as like a legally non-conforming. So if you built your shed right on the property line, for example, you have it for 10 years, then it's protected, but within the 10-year window, it's not protected.
And this is
The one
Mass
part I
General
don't
Law?
understand is it says with a permit, so
Yeah, so the
the
building
trick is build
department.
something without a permit and then,
No, then then your protection is even less, I'm pretty sure. So I have to look at the statute, but it's based on the statute. It's not us.
so that we
it's-
can't modify it then.
We can't.
So just leave it. It's not wasting our time. Unregistered motor vehicle, any motor vehicle required to be registered by law of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts for operation on public ways, but not so registered.
We talked about this a lot through the car dealership thing, remember?
Well, the other problem with that is, what about a quad that's required to be registered?
Or a trailer.
Correct. Or a
So it becomes,
snowmobile.
it's an
Snowmobile,
Yeah.
quad,
unregistered
dirt-
vehicle. That's-
Huh?
It's an unregistered vehicle.
Right.
Yeah, but it says for use on public ways,
Oh.
snowmobile,
It's not.
quad, those are not.
So
for
then
use
why
on-
don't we just remove the
Is
for
it a motor
operation?
vehicle? Was it a
on
public
snowmobile?
Snowmobile, motorcycle, they're all motor
Well,
vehicles.
what this does is it protects people who have unregistered quads from enforcement action. Because we don't allow more than one unregistered motor vehicle for more than 30 days or whatever it is.
Oh, so if your snowmobile, if you take it out of the winter store, you put it
Yeah,
in
so if
storage,
you have your
it's
snowmobile
unregistered.
hanging out
Or your motorcycle.
on the side of your house all winter, it's okay.
Like, I have the.
But they're required to be registered.
Right, but if you don't,
But if
we
you take
can't
the plate
enforce
off,
you
I mean,
You can have one unregistered.
yeah.
for 30 days.
And you don't have to keep, like, I keep fire and theft on mine if I put it away, but a lot of people sometimes don't.
So what are we saying?
Leave it.
Any motor vehicle required to be registered by law of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So this right here, just it does not pertain to motorcycles, quads, anything.
Well, motorcycles, yeah, they operate on public ways, but
Any vehicle designed to be on public way is all this covers, basically. So it doesn't cover the quads and the snowmobiles.
Right. Dirt bikes, it doesn't cover, but on off-road bikes, it covers.
Correct.
Right.
which seems like a compromise when it comes to the storage of the unregistered motor vehicles provisions that were less restrictive for things like snowmobiles and quads.
Do we have a problem with any of it right now? That you know?
I couldn't
No.
say. That would be a question for Jay.
Like
He's the one that deals with all
I
that.
could, not this town, but one of the neighboring towns, there's a kick, guy's got like 25 snowmobiles and dirt bikes in his yard, it looks kind of dumb. But, by this, he wouldn't have to worry about it. He wouldn't have to register it. So, I mean, do we wanna,
You'd have to get them under something else, like operating a junkyard or all these motor vehicles operable, otherwise it would be like considered a
Well,
junkyard.
Yeah, if it starts to be blighted, maybe we'll have some way to. We don't know. That remains to be seen. But
Alice?
That's how we, the same thing, we got stacks of, it's unregistered, we go by unregistered motor vehicles or substantial parts thereof, because there's, motorcycle frames and quad frames, and we got.
Substantial parts up, I
or,
like
yeah,
that. That's a
substantial
good
parts
part.
thereof, is how it reads.
so we're leaving this?
Yeah,
Anybody?
yeah.
Anybody
leave it.
against leaving it? Going once, going twice, leaving it. Use, the specific purpose for which land or building is designed, arranged, intended, or for which it is or may be occupied or maintained. The term permitted use or its equivalent shall not be deemed to include any non-conforming use. I'm confused. Anybody explain that to me?
so, it's permitted uses in the use table. So we list permitted uses. If it's non-conforming, it's not a permitted use. It's grandfathered, but it's not a permitted use to be established at any given time.
Do we want to change building structure? Do we need to?
Yeah, probably wouldn't hurt.
I mean, it makes no sense to me. You're
It is
using use in non-conforming, but your use is use. Are you defining permitted use or are you defining use? If you're defining permitted use, it makes sense. If you're
Yeah.
defining use, it doesn't make sense because you're using it in non-conforming use.
I think it was just added as an additional clarification, but it doesn't necessarily need to be there.
Use, you mean, the whole definition?
No, that last sentence, the term permitted use
Right.
or its equivalent. It
Take
doesn't-
that out, I'm
Take that
okay with
out.
it. Anybody?
Okay,
I'm okay.
Really, you're
And
very
change it to
cooperative today.
structure.
I know.
Oh, God. Accessory use. Didn't
We already, well,
we put that somewhere? Under
We
accessories?
changed it,
Did we
right?
do all of these?
I
Yeah.
have define here written, but we keep going back and forth whether or not it should be. But I think it makes sense to have use accessory, use non-conforming, use principal, all of them in the same place. So that means
Here?
substantially different use needs to be moved.
So we have accessory use on the first page.
Do you not have a note that it should be moved?
I don't have a note.
I
Accessory
have
use,
something
I-
incorporated. into
I
the
have
above
delete and
definition.
replace in use, comma, accessory.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. I remember talking about all that,
Yeah,
so we're done with all
they're all
them.
gonna be,
So
yeah.
we're done with all of them, we're
All the
down to
uses.
variance?
Yep.
Yep.
Holy crap. Variance, such departure from the terms of this ordinance relating to a structure, front yard, side yard, rear yard, frontage requirements, and/or lot size as the Board of Appeals, upon appeal in specific cases, is empowered to authorize under the terms of section 1. A variance is granted because strict enforcement of zoning ordinance as it applies to a specific lot would cause an undue hardship and present site-specific practical difficulties that are not relevant to other lots in the district.
I gotta go to work on that. I know this
Maybe
is
we'll
gonna be
save
a
that
long.
till next week.
This is gonna be a long one, I can tell
So we
already.
start there.
You wanna start there next week?
Yeah.
2 weeks?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's make sure.
We did pretty good though. We're to the B's.
Yeah, maybe we'll finish at the next meeting.
So it'll be Tuesday the 17th?
Wednesday, the 18th?
Oh, what the hell am I, sorry. What's today? Yeah, Wednesday. Wednesday the 18th.
Okay.
See you then.